Good afternoon. This is Mrs.Z. This is Grade 5, Mission 5, Lesson 12, Problem Set. Measure each rectangle to the nearest 1/4 inch with your ruler and label the dimensions. Use area model to find each area. So this is rectangle A. If you took, and I can see 0 inch, 1 inch, 2 inches. So this side is 2 inches. And then that is width. And the length is 1 inch, 2 inch. And then 3rd inch is right here. So it's a 1/2 inch. So this is, length is 2.5 inch. So to use area, I'm gonna separate the whole inches. So this is 2 inches, and then this is 2 inches, and this is 1/2. So if I look this to be a 1/2, and this 2, this area right here is 2 by 2. 2 times 2, 2 inches times 2 inches equals 4 inch times inch, square inches. Now this area here is 1/2 inch by 2 inches. If this is 2, so is this. 2 times 1/2 is 2 halves. So 2 halves is also whole. So 1/2 times 2 equals 2 halves equals a whole. So whole square inch. Square inch. So altogether, this area equals 5 inch squared inches. So you can also see this as area equals 2 times 2.5. And then 2 times 2 groups of 2.5. 2.5 plus 2.5 equals 5. 5 square inches. Number B. Okay, B looks like a square, so let's see how it looks like. It's this is 1 inch, and here is the 2nd inch. But now you can see 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 parts that makes inch. I have 1, 2, 3. This one is missing, so 3/4. So we can say that this here is 1 whole till here, and then from here to here is 3/4 of an inch. So 1 3/4 inch. And let's see if that is case to other side as well. So it's also 1 whole and 1, 2, 3 inches, 3/4 of an inch. So 1 whole and 3/4 inch. So, and this is 1 inch, this is 1 inch, this is 3/4 of an inch. Okay, now when we separate the whole inches, I'm going to cut the area into 1 inch horizontally and 1 inch vertically. So now if this is 1, so is this. If this is 1, so is this. So 1 times 1 is 1 square inch. Okay. This one is a 1, but this is 3/4. So that means 1 times 3/4 is 3/4 square inches. This here is 3/4. So is this 3/4. So if this is 1, so 3/4 times 1 is 3/4 square inch. And then last is this here, and it's square, 3/4 by 3/4. So 3/4 times 3/4 equals 3 times 3 is 9, 4 times 4 is 16, so 9/16. 3/4 times 3/4 is 9/16. So 9/16 square inches. So now add all this together. We can say that area equals 1 whole inch plus 3/4 plus 3/4 and plus 9/16. So 3/4 and 3/4, they make 6/4. So I can make this to be 6/4. Add the pieces are fourths. How many do we have? Is 3 plus 3, 6 pieces. So 6/4 is same as 1 whole and 2/4, or 1/2. We can say 1/2, 2/4, which makes 1/2. So now I have these 16ths, so I cannot add 16ths to fourths unless fourths are the same as same size pieces. So I'm going to multiply by 4, so I can get 16ths. So that means final answer would be this 3/4 plus 3/4. I will need it to be 1 whole and 8/16. Now, when I have these is this, and then I have to add that 9/16 and 1 whole to that. So I needed to add this, this, and this together. So I will find room here. Area equals, so 1 whole plus 1 whole plus 1 whole and 8/16 plus 9/16. That makes 2 wholes, and 8 and 9 is a 17/16. Now, when you see this 17 pieces and 16 pieces will make a whole, I can think this is 16/16 plus 1/16. 16/16 is 1 whole, and then that makes 2 plus 1 more, 3 wholes and 1/16. So finally, I just have room right here. Area equals 2 plus 1 plus 1/16. Sometimes I do like this. This makes a whole, so you know that this is that 16 16s makes a hole. So final answer is 3 holes and 116 square inches. That is area of square B. Okay, let's move on to C. Okay, let's see, length would be, okay. So I'm gonna now just shorten it, if you can see it. This is 1 inch, 2 inches. So I'm gonna just go 2 inches. And then I will have here 1/4, 2/4, 3/4 inch. So this here is 3/4, and this is 2 inches. Okay, so that part and this one here. Okay, so that's what I have. And then this one here, I can go from the top to be 1 hole. Oh, 2 holes. It looks like 2 holes. 1 hole, 2 holes. So it's 2 inches. So this one here is 2 inches. So when I separate the holes in rectangle, this is 2 by 2. So 2 inches times 2 inches makes 4 square inches. And then this one here, because that is 2, so is this one here. So it's 2 times 3/4. 2 times 3/4. 2 times 3/4 is 6/4. And 6/4 is 1 hole and 2/4. 1 hole and 2/4. But it's also 2 is half of 4, so it's also 1/2. 2/4 is the same as 1/2. So finally, you have 4 and 1.5 to add together. So the area here is 4 square inches plus 1.5 square inch. All together is 5.5 square inches. And that's C. Okay. Now let's see. Next is D. D is 2 inches and 1/4 of an inch. Look, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's only 1/4. 1 out of 4 pieces that makes next. So it's 2 inches and 1/4 inch. Okay. Now let's see. This one is okay. I start from the top. And that is 1 inch, 2 inches, 3 inches, and then 1/4 of an inch. Okay, so I will show you here 1/4 of an inch. So that means this part here is 3 inches. And then this little guy right here is 1 inch, same like this one here, 1/4 of inch. 1/4 inch. Okay, now I'm going to do 3 by 2. Okay, so that would be, I want to make it better, sorry. Parallel lines. Okay, so here and then also that. So Now let's see what makes sense of this. Okay, so we measure 2 1/4, and we measure 3 1/4. Because this is 3 1/4, so is this one right here, 3 and then 1/4. Okay, so if this was 2 inches, so is this line, so is this one here, or if this was 1/4, so is this one, so is that one. So you only need to find the length and width either way. So length times width, or length times width. So this is 2 by 3, 2 inches times 3 inches equals 6 square inches. This area is 6 square inches. Now, this area right here, it's 3. This line is 3, and this line is 1/4. So this is 3 times 1/4, which is 3 times 1/4 is 3/4. Now, this area right here is 2 times 1/4, because this is 2 and this is 1/4. 2 times 1/4, 2 times 1/4 is 2/4. And then you have this little area here, which is going to be 1/4 times 1/4. 1/4 times 1/4. 1 times 1 is 1. 4 times 4 is 16. So this area is 1/16 inch squared inches. Square inches. So now I'll put that all together. Area of D is 6 plus 6 inches squared plus 3/4. I'm going to circle this. So this is square inches. So that is this area. This is inch squared, and then this is the last one from that one here. So 6 plus 3/4 plus 2/4 plus 1/16. Now, 3/4 plus 2/4 is 5/4. So this together makes a whole. So 6 plus, it's 5/4. It makes 1 whole and 1/4 plus 1/16. Now we have a problem here because these are 4ths and these are 16ths. So I need to change the 4ths into 16ths in order to add. 4ths are much bigger than 16ths. You can add pieces unless they are the same size. So multiplying by 4, you will get this to be 4/16. So finally, we can say this is 7 wholes, and here is 4/16 plus 1 more 16th, and the final answer is 7 wholes and 5/16. And those are squared inches because the units we were using were inches, square inches. So here you go. Okay, I'll make it smaller. Okay, this is that C and D. And then this was A and B in a problem set. Okay, but that's not done. There is much more. Okay, that was, next is, I think, 3. 1. Okay, let me see if it's 2. No, this is that. So we still have a few of rectangles to measure. So this was, I'm going to use that. All right. Can you see it? Yes. Okay. 1 inch, 2 inch, and this is, they said, round to the nearest 1 inch. Here you have 2, 4, 6 sixteenths, or you can say that you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1 to 3 eighths. So 3 eighths is really close to half. So we can round less to be about 1/4, or round to be 1/2. It's up to what, or we can say these are exact measure to be 3 eighths. But because they told us to round to the nearest 1/4, on a paper says here to the nearest 1/4 inch, because it's already 3 eighths and 3 8. I would rather make this about 2/4 or 1/2, and then this is 2, and so this one is, let me see what it's going to be. I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. So these are 16s. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, almost 6. So half is right here. So that's 2/4, but it's not 3/4. So I'm gonna say that this is around to the nearest 1, 2, 3/4. So I'm going to, this line represents, it's about 3/4. So you can measure correctly or you can estimate. So this is about 3/4 of inch, and this is about 2 1/2 inch. So area equals 2 1/2 times 3/4. So area equals, you can do standard algorithm to, or you can change the halves. Let's do change the no, because we're doing area, I'll do the partial product. So I will do 2 times 3/4 and 1/2 times 3/4. Okay, so 2 times 3/4 is 6/4, and 1/2 times 3/4 is 1 times 3 is 3, 2 times 4 is 8. So we got that. Now 6/4 is already has a hole in there, so this becomes 1 whole and 2/4. But I want to change these 4s into 8s, so I'm going to multiply by 2, and then I'm going to add 3/8 to it, because 2/4 is same as 4/8. So now you can add whole and 4/8 and 3/8 together. So so that is, final answer is 1 whole and 7/8 square inches. And then you can show that in here if you are doing this. So this is 3/4 times half. So that means this is 3/8 as the answer. Okay, and then this is 3/4. 2 times 3/4 is 6/4, and then 6/4 is really 1 whole and 2/4, or 1 whole and 1/2. So when you add this 1 and 2/4 and 3/8 together, you got 1 whole and 7/8 square inches. Okay, so that is that way. So now let's see what they have here. The F, it looks like it's very close to 1/2 inch. So it's a 3/8, 1, 2, 3, 3, almost 4/8, which is almost half. So we will say that this is about 1/2 inch. And then we'll go and see what this is. 1, 2, 3, and then this is like, hold on, okay. So 1 hole, 2, okay, 3 holes, and 1, 2. I would say this is also, I could round to the 1/2 inch because it's a little bit more than, but I will say this is also 1/2, about 3.5 inches. Okay, so 1, 2, 3.5. Okay, so area equals 3.5 inch times 1/2 inch. So that's an estimate because we didn't really measure. We estimate this is a 1/2, but it's so 3 times 1/2 is 3/2, which makes 1 whole and 1/2, and 1/2 plus 1/2. 1/2 times 1/2 is 1/4. So now when you add that together, this area becomes, I need to change a 1/2 into fourths, times 2. So that becomes 2/4, and 1 more fourth, it's 3/4. So 1 whole and 3/4 square inches. And that is the answer for this. Can vary depend on what you estimate to be this part right here or right here. You could say that this is not half, maybe it's 3/4 you choose to be, then the answer would be different, a little bit different than, for example, if I estimate this to be 3/4, then I will have area equals, so it would be 3 3/4 times, this all can stay half. So if I do that, it would be 3 times half is also 1 and 1/2, and plus 3/4 times 1/4 is 3/8. So when I do that, I can change 1/2 into the fourths, into the 8, sorry. So then I will have this to be 4, 1 whole and 4/8 plus 3/8, which will give me 1 whole and 7/8 square inches. So if I estimate this to be 3/4, not 1/2 like I did, the answer for E and F could be similar, because it's just that this is a skinnier rectangle and this is wide and shorter, but the measurements area of both are about the same. All right, So that's just it's optional and it's okay. Either answer is correct because you are rounding, you are okay. Find the area of rectangles with following dimension. Explain your thinking using the area model. Okay, so that is 1 whole feet with 1.5. So this is one. If I pretend that this is 1 and this is 1.5. Okay, here we go. So if this is 1 feet and this is 1.5, so I can say 1 times 1 is 1, but what? Feet times feet equals square feet. And then 1/2 feet times 1 feet is half a feet. So the area equals 1 plus half equals 1.5 square feet. Oops, sorry. Need a smaller. I think you can see it. Okay, so 1 by 1.5. So 1 by 1 is 1 feet squared. 1 by half is 1/2. 1/2 times 1 is 1/2. So together is 1.5 feet squared. Now, if we go to the next one, this is 1.5 and 1.5. So, okay, I'm going to pretend that this is okay, it should be like a rectangle, on a rectangle squared, because it's a measurement 1.5 and 1.5. So if you say that this is, I'm going to, it's pretty close, even though, okay, so 1.5. This is 1 and this is half. 1 times 1 is 1 yard squared because the units are yard. Okay, and this is 1 yard. 1 times half yard is half a yard. This is half. This is 1. So this. So 1 times half is 1/2 yard squared. And then this one here is a half a yard times half a yard. Half part of a part. What is a half of half is 1/4. So this is 1/4 square inch. So you put all this together and then it will be 1 whole, half and half makes a whole. So it's 2 wholes and 1/4. So the area equals 1 whole plus 1/2 plus 1/2 plus 1/4. So area equals, this makes a whole, 2 wholes and 1/4 square inches. Okay, so that is B, and then last one is C. So if I do, let me do C, use area model, I can do that, it's okay. So 2.5, okay, okay, That's 2 1/2, and then over there is 1 3/16. So 1 whole, and then 3/16. If this is, if I make it precision, it would be, this is 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. If I times 2, so that means 16. So about like this half of 8 is, so these 3 pieces are my 3/16. Right here, from here to here is 3/16. 3/16. 1/8 makes 2/16 of the inch. So when I create that, I can make area of the holes and area of the parts. So there you go. Okay, so now label. This is 1, this is 2, and this is half. So if this is half, so is this. If this is 2, so is this. So when you say this is 2 by 1, 2 times 1 is 2, and they are yard, squared yard. And then here this is 1, so is this. So it's 1 times half is 1/2. And then here you have 2, this is 2 by 3/16. So 2 times 3/16 makes 6/16. So this here, this area is 6/16 yard squared. And this is also squared, yard squared. And so this one here is 1/2 by 3/16. So 1/2 of 3/16. 1 times 3 is 3, or 2 times 16. 2 times 6 is 12. Remember 1. 2 times 1 is 2, plus 1 is 3. So 3/32s. 3/32s. So now all what we need is to add what this area was that. This area was this. This area was this. This area that. So each rectangle's parts. And we're gonna add them together. So let's use this. Area equals 2 plus 1/2 plus 6/16 plus 3/32s. So if I look these, those are the parts that I take, and now I'm going to add them together to find the area. So the half is much bigger than 16s, and 16's piece size of a piece is much smaller, much bigger than 32nd. So it's like this is really small piece, but I have to change them all in the same size. So 16 times 2 would be 32. So, and then 2 times what makes 32? Or we can say, what is a half of 32? We can think half of 30 is 15, and half of 2 is 1. So together, half is 16. So I needed to multiply by 16, and I will get all pieces the same size. So area equals 2 whole stays. This become 1 times 16, 16, 2 times 16, 32, plus 6 times 2 is 12, and 16 times 2 is 32. plus the 3 32s that we already have. So what right now, look, I had same size pieces, so I can add them. Before, these were halves, these were 16s, and these were 30, sorry, different. Let's do green. So if I have a different color, these were different size of the pieces. So that means I couldn't add them, but now I can. Pieces are same size. 16 plus 12 plus 3. 16 plus 12 plus 3. 6 and 2 is 8. 9, 10, 11. Remember 1, so it is 31. So I have final answer that area of this rectangle is 2 holes in 31 32s. So if only one 32s is missing, so I can have 2 holes. So if I'm going to round this to the nearest whole square yard, this could be about 3 square yards, because it's missing only 132, and I will have the new whole, a new whole square. So that was number 2. Okay. Okay, so we did this part, and then we did this here, and that is there is also 3 and 4. Okay, this is really long one. Okay, I'll try to be quick this time. 3 and 4. Okay. Okay. Hanley is putting carpet in her house. She wants to carpet. You know what? I think it's 3 and 4 pretty. I'm gonna break now, and then I will make lesson 12 these problems into 2 parts. So next time I will explain to you number 3 and 4. Sounds good? Okay. See you later.